Nadim Ansari was around 40 years old and had been driving an auto rickshaw for nearly 15 years. He knew every station road, crowded market lane, shortcut, police barricade, and broken streetlight in the city. The map of the city seemed permanently printed inside his mind. Nadim was hard-working, dependable, and usually the first driver to arrive at the auto stand. But he had one strange rule. On the night of a new moon, he never drove. The other drivers laughed about it every month. That evening, Iqbal leaned against his auto and grinned. A few drivers nearby started laughing.
Come on, Nadim bhai, taking another night off because there's no moon. It has been years. Has anyone actually seen a ghost?
Nadim smiled, but it was a weak smile.
You guys can laugh. I made a promise at home.
A promise or fear?
This time, he looked directly at Iqbal.
Both, and both are important.
The rule had come from his father. His father had once driven a taxi late at night. After one terrible night long ago, he had never driven on a moonless night again.
If someone walks up to your vehicle by himself and says, "Will you take me?" do not let him in.
He never explained the full story to Nadim, but he had given him one warning that stayed in his mind forever. Nadim never asked why, he simply obeyed. Until that year. Money was tight at home. There were unpaid bills, medicine expenses, and loans piling up. The man who had lent him money called almost every day.
Nadim bhai, I have to pay someone else too. I need the money before the date.
Nadim tried everything, but he could not arrange the full amount. Finally, he had only one choice left. He had to work on the new moon night. At home, his wife Farheen stood near the door as he prepared to leave. Farheen looked worried.
You're really going?
Just tonight. It's necessary.
There will always be some necessity, but what if something happens?
Nothing will happen. Has anything ever happened in all these years?
She said nothing after that. But the silence in her eyes felt heavier than words. Nadim started his auto and drove into the night. At first, everything was normal. He found passengers near the station. Then he found another passenger near the market. He earned good fares and even received a little extra money. Slowly, the fear inside him began to fade.
See? I was scared for no reason.
But as the night grew darker, the streets became empty. The traffic disappeared.
Just one more passenger. Then I'll go home.
A few minutes later, he stopped at a red signal. Someone tapped their fingers against the metal side of the auto. Nadim turned his head. A man was standing beside the auto. He was tall and broad-shouldered, dressed in a white Patani suit. His face was stiff and expressionless. His eyes were fixed directly on Nadim.
Will you take me?
Nadim's throat went dry. His father's warning echoed inside his head.
If someone walks up to your vehicle by himself and says, "Will you take me?"
Then his fear lost to his need for money.
Where do you want to go, sir?
The man did not answer his question.
Drive.
He simply climbed into the back seat. There was no destination, no direction.
Where should I take you, sir?
Only one command.
Straight.
Nadim slowly started the auto. Even the faint buzzing of distant streetlights sounded loud in that moment. Nadim drove forward. As the auto moved, he felt cold air coming from behind him. It was not the cold of winter. It felt like ice rising from an old grave. Nadim looked into the rearview mirror. The man sat perfectly straight. His back was pressed against the seat. His hands rested on his knees, and his eyes were staring directly at Nadim. 1 second passed, then 2 seconds, then 5 seconds. The man did not blink, not even once. Nadim quickly looked back at the road.
Don't look, Nadim. Don't look again.
His heart warned him not to look again, but his mind forced him to check. He looked into the mirror once more. The man seemed closer now, as if he had moved forward without making a sound. Nadim's mouth went dry. His hands tightened around the handlebar.
Are you afraid?
No, Why would I be afraid?
There was another long silence. Then the man gave a small laugh. It did not sound like a human laugh. There was no happiness in it. It sounded like an old wooden door slowly creaking open. The small light inside the auto began to flicker. Once, twice. Then it became dim. Nadim looked up nervously. He tried to convince himself that none of this was real.
No, this can't be happening. This is a dream.
From behind him, the man spoke again.
When the light gets weaker, the road becomes easier to see.
Then he said something that made Nadim's chest tighten. Trying to distract himself, Nadim asked the man another question.
You don't look like you're from around here. Is this your first time in the city?
There was no answer. Nadim looked into the mirror again. The man was still staring at him, but now dark shadows had formed under his eyes. His face looked longer, stretched, as if something was pulling it downward. Nadim immediately faced forward again. Now even the road looked unfamiliar. The road he had driven every day for years seemed to be getting longer. A turn should have appeared by now, but it never came. Nadim's voice began to shake.
Sir, the road ahead.
Before he could finish his sentence, the man interrupted him.
Keep driving.
The engine sound changed. It became heavier, slower, as if someone had placed a huge weight on the auto. Nadim felt the man slowly leaning closer toward him. His breathing became fast, but from behind him, there was no sound of breathing at all. Nadim could not control himself anymore. He suddenly looked into the mirror, and his blood turned cold. The man's face was inches away from his own, so close that if Nadim turned around, he would touch him. But the man's body was still sitting on the back seat.
Why? Why do you like looking behind you?
Nadim froze. His entire body began to shake. His father's warning returned to him, but now it was too late.
You can't leave me now.
Nadim's heart pounded so loudly that he felt the sound might escape from his chest. His hands went numb around the handlebar. His foot was still on the accelerator, but he could no longer feel it. Nadim could no longer tell whether he was truly driving the auto or whether the auto was moving on its own. The road ahead was straight, too straight. It stretched endlessly into the darkness. Slowly, he realized this was not the road he knew. This was not any route he had driven every day for 15 years. Nadim gathered his courage and spoke to the man behind him.
Sir, I will drop you wherever you say. Just tell me where to go.
There was no answer, only silence. But it was not ordinary silence. It had weight. It felt as if the air inside the auto had turned into stone. Nadim thought that perhaps the man had simply moved back into his seat. Maybe fear had made him see things that were not real. People often search for lies to comfort themselves when they are terrified. Slowly, Nadim looked into the rear-view mirror. The man was sitting back in his place, straight. His hands rested on his knees. His face looked normal. If anyone else had seen him, they would have said there was nothing strange about him.
I'm losing my mind.
Nadim released a shaky breath. Then the man suddenly spoke.
Who is at home with you?
The question made him uncomfortable. He gave a short answer.
My wife.
That is good. At least someone is waiting for you.
And who's at your home?
He should never have asked that question. The voice from behind him.
My home is the road now.
The light inside the auto suddenly went out. Everything became completely dark. Only the headlights continued shining onto the empty road ahead. Nadim tried to press the brakes. His foot pushed down with all its strength, but the auto did not slow down.
Oh God.
The speed remained the same.
And will not bring him here.
Nadim felt coldness touch the back of his neck. It felt as if someone had moved very close to him. He pressed the brakes again with all his strength. This time, the tires screamed. The auto stopped with a violent jerk. Nadim immediately turned around. The seat was empty, but money was lying on it. His mind spun. Had the man left? Had he gotten out? Nadim stepped out of the auto. He looked around. The road was empty. The wind had stopped. There was no one anywhere. Then he heard footsteps directly behind him. Nadim's entire body froze. He did not want to turn around, but the footsteps kept getting closer. Slowly, Nadim turned. The same man was standing there, but his face was no longer normal. His eyes looked deep and hollow. His skin had turned pale like ash. A faint smile rested on his lips.
You paid for the journey. This is for the return.
What
Then
return?
the man asked Nadim to take him back.
Take me back to where you picked me up.
Nadim felt the ground disappear beneath him. He remembered picking the man up near a signal, but when he looked behind him, the road was not the same. There was no signal, no streetlights, only a long road covered in darkness. Nadim's voice broke.
I don't know where that place is.
The man's smile disappeared. His face became hard and cold.
You do.
Then a voice came from behind Nadim.
Come on, I will take you.
Nadim turned around. Inside the auto, someone else was sitting in the driver's seat. And that person was Nadim himself.